if you share that you ride a motorcycle with either friends, family, or even total strangers, you're inevitably going to get a story about how they know someone that was either hurt or killed in a motorcycle accident. And it's inherently dangerous, right? Riding a motorcycle is not safe. And I'd be lying to you if I said that I had no fear hopping on one of these bikes and riding out here in Florida traffic. 2025 was a really rough year for the motorcycle community, at least in Tampa, Florida. There's already been 3 people that have been in my videos just in 2025 that are no longer with us today. And so this is something that I struggle with personally every time I ride, and I wanted to talk about it, and it's how to overcome that fear of riding, whether you've been in an accident yourself or you know someone that has been in a serious accident or has even unfortunately passed away. A good friend of mine personally that I recently talked about on the channel, Mike, otherwise known as the Fat and Furious One, was killed by someone who made an illegal U-turn on a highway.
And one of us put in Fat and Furious and it just stuck, so.
Fat and Furious One, so I knew Mike personally, and not only was Mike a stand-up guy, you know, really give you the shirt off his back, but he had some great motorcycle builds. And I'll never forget one time I was out to dinner with friends. There's about a dozen of us to a table, and someone had paid for our meal at OCC Roadhouse. I had no idea who it was until I asked the server, and she told me it was Mike. So I went out and thanked him. I said, "Mike, why'd you do that?" And he said, "Don't worry about it, man." That was just kind of the guy that he was. Didn't need the recognition, just a super nice guy. A young woman named Rosie in her early 20s, otherwise known as Moto Menace. I was doing an interview at OCC, and she had some fun words for Harley-Davidson riders, all in fun. Say that again? Moto Menace.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you.
What's the question?
What's the difference between Harley riders and sport bike riders? What's the difference?
Because Harley riders are brothers. And we're on cross rock.
And then we have Mark, who all of these people were connected to OCC. You don't do Harleys?
I love everything. I've owned a Harley.
Yeah.
I prefer sport bikes, but
Why? The speed?
it's more the performance than nimbleness of it.
Yeah. He rode a Triumph Rocket, and big guy, you know, 6'4", burly dude, just super nice. Would always come up and talk bikes, whether it's cruisers or sport bikes. So it's real, and I think it's all of our responsibilities to recognize the dangers, and we can do things to lower the risk, right? Wear helmets, wear protective gear, but no matter what we do, we are not as protected as we would be in a steel cage. And although that's part of the fun, that's part of the experience, it's really difficult to think through that mentally sometimes. And anyway, let's jump on the bike and talk through it a little bit. It is so nice outside. We had a rough go in the Tampa area over the last weekend. There was snow reported north of Tampa. Kind of crazy. We are in February. We had a high of 60 today. We're probably about mid-50s right now. But it feels great. So as I talk about this topic, I want you to think about it. Because I know a lot of guys and gals who either didn't get into riding or stopped riding because of something happening to them or their friends. There was one guy in our riding group, his name's Lonnie, who hit a an e-bike. The e-bike had pulled out on him, and he was clinging to life. I think he might have been pronounced dead at the scene, and he was able to miraculously recover, and he's okay now. But I think he's done with riding, and rightfully so. I can't really speak to how I would react if something catastrophic like that happened to me. I can only speculate. And then I have a good friend of mine, Rich, who I talked about. He was working on a client's bike and taking it for a test ride. Didn't even make it out of his own neighborhood at a stop sign. Was just sitting there, stopped at a stop sign. And a woman came from an adjacent direction and basically ran through him and the bike, and his customer's bike. He was lucky to be okay. I mean, he did have some serious injuries, and he hasn't ridden since. And then, as I mentioned earlier, with all the deaths that you hear about, and I feel like every day I'm kind of looking through the news, and you see a motorcycle incident, and maybe it's my algorithm speaking to me. They want me to see that stuff. And on one hand, you're like, I just don't want to hear about it. But also, it's kind of important that you do. And the more people are relying on cell phones, I mean, I see it all the time when you're riding, and people are just looking down on their phones and not paying attention. Very common to see that. And it really drives me crazy, because these are the people all around you driving steel machines that could end your life. And there's a couple scenarios I talked about on my Lethal Left video a couple videos ago. I'm not going to get into the type of turns that are dangerous, but the left turns and U-turns from opposite lanes of traffic, you really got to watch out for. But all that put together, why still ride is probably the question that I would be asked a lot. Like, what if something happens to you? Could have been avoided. You know the dangers of getting on a bike. And it really makes me step back and think, like, why do I ride? I don't want to say that riding a motorcycle has saved me or anything dramatic like that, but I can't really think of a healthier way to blow off steam, be outside, enjoy the elements, and kind of just disconnect from everything. And I love it. I can't get enough of it. The feeling I get when I'm riding and it's just you on the road. Yeah, like, traffic kind of sucks, okay? Like, this is probably a bad example. But I'm chasing that feeling all the time. And sometimes I'll be sitting there in my boring office job, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to get out of here and ride. I can't wait to ride. And I have some really close friends, you know, Kyle, Tim, these guys that I can call when it's nice outside and just say, hey, it reminds me of when I was a kid. Hey, you guys want to go for a ride? You want to ride bikes? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's chasing a childhood feeling, because it does feel like that. And we try to get together at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, to ride together. And the cool thing about riding with your boys, your friends, You don't have to talk about anything. You just ride, and like it's a shared experience of you know, just clearing your head, man. I only tend to think about how dangerous things are if I have a close call or as I'm just starting to get out there, right? Like I tell my mom, I tell my girl, hey, I'm going for a ride. Be safe. Please be safe. Like, yes, well, what do you think? Think I'm going to try not to be safe? Yeah. I could do my part to be safe. But, you know, it's not me you got to worry about. I can control me. I can control where my bike goes, how fast I ride, the decisions I make. But you're always going to have that wild card factor of all these other people around you. You know? And you don't know who's paying attention and who's not. I try to like keep an eye on cars if they're looking at their phones or swerving. I try to get away from those guys. But you know, there's only so much you can do. So how do I overcome my fear? I guess is focusing on the positives. And you could probably apply this to everything in life. You know, unless you want to live in a bubble. Life is dangerous. I'm trying to anti-fog my lens. Life is dangerous. It's dangerous. Nobody makes it out alive. You could be the safest person in the world, and there's always that element of, hey, something could happen, a freak accident. It's true. Anything can happen in life. And so, this sounds horrible, but I think about it, I'm like, you know, I'm the one who, if I stopped riding and took up a hobby like frickin' surfing or, you know, something in the water, I'll get attacked by a shark and die. Like, nothing's safe. Nothing is safe. Obviously, I mean, that's kind of BS, right? Because, yes, you can... Certain activities have higher likelihood of catastrophe, right? Like swimming in an Olympic pool, if you know how to swim. Great. Swimming in an ocean full of sharks. Not so great. Man, this freaking visor gets steamy. Trying to wipe it off. I really need a pin lock visor for this freaking thing. I'm telling you. Now, I will say confidently, if I do happen to go out on a motorcycle, there will be one of two thoughts. Lucky if both thoughts go through my head when that happens, or if that happens. One, oh shit. And then the lights go out. Two, well, at least I went out doing something I love. At least I went out doing what I love. I guess I'm just a firm believer. You don't get far in life playing it safe. Bring it on through, brother. You don't get far in life playing it safe. I don't ever want to be that guy that I've seen and talked to at gas stations who says, man, I had one of those, but my wife made me sell it. I had kids. They're too dangerous. I had a close call. Because this right here is what it's about. Clearing your head, I'm enjoying this beautiful weather. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, about to set, and I can say this is exactly where I want to be right now. So if something was to happen, so be it. Because this is what I want to do. This is what I want. This is what I enjoy. And please let me know your experience. And if you feel the same way, because like I've been riding freaking 20 years, probably 200,000 miles. Okay, maybe a little over 100,000 miles, but at least 15,000 miles a year on a bike. And I still get a little freaked out before I jump on the bike. Every now and then you think about it. It bothers you. And so let me know, like, am I the only one that has these thoughts? Or do you have any advice for other people on how to handle that anxiety and that fear, knowing that every time you ride could be the last time you ride? If you're a new rider or thinking about getting into motorcycles, I want you to know that it's a rewarding hobby. Like, it will give you things that you can't otherwise get. And I'll say this, if I look at my friend group, which seems to get smaller every year, okay? Like, I keep my circle small on purpose. Keep my circle small. But every single one of my close friends that I can pick up the phone and say, hey man, I need your help. Every one of those guys say, what do you need? How can I help? What time? You let me know. So this hobby does so much for you mentally, socially. Right? There's lots of it. Shoot, if I didn't go to bike nights, I don't know what I would do with myself. I don't know what. Join a run club or something? That ain't me. My friends ride. And I am happy to say it. We're lucky sometimes we ride together. And the cool thing about motorcycles, it does not matter what your background is, what you ride, we're all connected by our love for 2 or 3 wheels. 3 wheels except the slingshot. Sorry, slingshot. If you're a slingshot guy or gal, nope. It's not a motorcycle, wrong channel. But we're all connected, and I think part of it is kind of being connected by the same risk we take every day we ride. So if you're on the fence about starting a ride, or you want to get your first bike and you're scared because you hear all the stories, and you know, you fall down that rabbit hole of statistics and percentage of accidents and how dangerous it is to ride, and you know, all these horror stories, well, that's just going to make you not want to ride. So I'd say focus on the positive. Focus on what it gives you, what it brings you, your peace, your happiness, your joy, whatever it brings you. Because I promise you this, I promise you, if riding a motorcycle had 0 risk, and you knew everyone would just never get in an accident, I think everyone would love riding bikes, because that fear will be gone. It's that fun. But maybe, just maybe, a little bit of the fun, a lot of bit of the fun, is a little bit of danger lot of bit of danger, a medium amount of danger, I don't know, but that danger makes it worthwhile. So the sun is setting. I'm riding around a little bit. I appreciate you for watching. Please, please, please weigh in on this one. And if you're out there in the cold shoveling snow, I get comments sometimes. I look at them and you might be in -8 degrees. That sucks. That sucks. But if you visit Southwest Florida, let me know. Otherwise, tune in. We're going to be riding. And you can at least ride with me. Just act like you're next to me. I don't know. Maybe I could put like a little sidecar cam view. But I do appreciate you for taking the time out to watch and share your experience. If you do ride, and you are riding now, remember, keep that rubber side down. Y'all stay safe out there. And remember, focus on the positives. Most of all, do shit that makes you happy. All right? Peace. What does not make me happy is traffic. So if we could just flip a switch and traffic be gone, I mean, that'd be cool too. Not gonna happen, but would be pretty fucking cool.